Anywho, we're talking about Dylan's pick of this week, that being the 2014 film Godzilla. Dylan, take us away.
Whoa, Godzilla. All right, so this is where it all began. So basically, you got, these parents in Japan. They're with their kid. They work in a nuclear reactor, right? I guess before that, they come across this mine, and they discover, this big old skeleton, and they find these big old radioactive pods, and one of them's open. Oh no, there's a big hole in the floor, to drag itself to the ocean. Next thing you know, this dude's wife dies in some seismic quake. Fast forward, the guy's still there, they're trying to figure out what's going on. Something comes out of the pod, they've been keeping it contained, they're trying to study it. Then Godzilla comes out of nowhere, because this guy is gonna bring balance to the world. Then the other one hatches out of Area 51 and decimates Nevada. They all fight in somewhere, LA, California. The army's trying to intervene the best way they can. Godzilla essentially kills both of them. And the movie ends, and Godzilla walks away the champion. The end. Tanner, what's your haiku?
Here's my haiku as inspired by Godzilla 2014 starring Bryan Cranston. Mr. White's wife dies. Cover up giant monster. Go Godzilla. Hot take! The big meme with this fucking movie is, dude, there's barely any fucking Godzilla in it. And my hot take is, I don't think that actually holds the movie back all that much.
Personally, I think it does hold the movie back quite a bit, because the main character is fucking piss boring and does fuck all for the movie until the very end, where he just turns on the gas valve and blows the fucker up. And that's his entire contribution to this movie.
That's not true.
And yeah, I think the only thing to really latch onto is just maybe the mystique of what's going on if you're not interested in the Godzilla lore and you don't really understand this type of shit. But most of it's just really cut and dry, and you kind of watch this movie just to see big monsters fight, and that happened very little in this film.
I will admit, when I was... How old was I when this movie came out? 15 or 16? That is
Fun fact, though, we actually saw this movie for your birthday.
Yeah, I know. It was me, you, and AJ, and one other, I think Andy, I think it was... that was the same birthday. My sister thought it was unfair. I was going to the movies with my friends. Anyway,
Sounds like a very your sister thing.
But yeah, I remember going to the movie theater. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be sick. I get to watch Godzilla fight monsters and all that, or just Godzilla fighting, and then there wasn't. So I thought it was a bad movie because there was no Godzilla fighting. I had gone that long without watching this movie. I think I might have watched it one other time between now and then. But watching this movie again makes me appreciate what Legendary was attempting to go for with their world. And I'm starting to see now what you guys are saying about the other movies. I think, in my honest opinion, the other movies are a tad bit flashy. I liked the mystique and the suspense and the secrecy that this movie had. But in the other movies, just flaunting it everywhere. Oh my god, there's giant monsters. How have they not destroyed the entire world through their conflicts and all that? So, I think the other movies are fine, but I think this movie is actually better because of its mystique and secrecy and low-keyness. I know that sounds wild, but I will also say this is changing my view on the other movies, and there will be a massive tier list overhaul based on me watching this one movie. So be prepared for that and stay tuned, I guess.
Holy
damn,
smokes.
that's fucking crazy. I was gonna say, this one is fucking radically different from all of the other legendary Godzillas. Like I've said, I like those ones because they're silly and schlocky and whatever, and this one is not that at all. They are taking this deadly seriously. Overall, my impression of this movie is it's one of those movies that's meant to be sort of, a feast for the eyes, very visually impressive, lots of cool shots and whatever, the monsters fighting in the airport, that's a cool looking shot, the guys, fucking parachuting into San Francisco, the thing with where they're on the train tracks and there's a flaming train that comes at them, or the big thing crossing underneath them. It's a bunch of really interesting looking shots. And the trade-off I think they decided to go with is that the plot is fucking non-existent. There's nothing going on in the sense that, our main characters, the humans, have, zero agency whatsoever. They are not impacting what is happening around them at all. they're just kind of there to witness the things that are happening. So, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, although it definitely holds back how good a movie can be when it's like just meant to be visuals.
Yeah, I mean, I acknowledge that. I acknowledge that is a problem. To me, that's not an issue, because I think there's a sense of intrigue in a movie when you're whoever you want to view as the protagonist, whether it's Godzilla or the dude we've been following around the whole. When somebody in the situation is powerless and you're kind of just along for the ride watching how things play out. I like that aspect of a movie. Because I don't think that the protagonist or whoever, the central focus of the movie, should always have things going their way. Like, they're just kind of going with the flow, just seeing what happens, and if they can alter it just a little bit, like, I say that, but the only example I have is at the end of the movie where the guy turns the gas valve and blows up all the eggs. Saves Godzilla, so it allows him to kill the male, and then essentially Godzilla comes and saves him at the end, right before she gets him in the boat. So I like it when there's just, like, paralleling... I can't say paralleling plots, because that's not accurate, but...
You like when the plot rhymes.
Sure, but... I don't know.
When there's intersecting plot points, I suppose.
Yeah, that's probably more so what I'm going at. So I don't have an issue with that. That's just a personal take on the matter, though.
Dude, why the fuck are these monsters always going to, like, California and, like, Tokyo and all this other shit? When are they gonna duke out in fucking Helena, Montana, bro?
To be fair, it was in Las Vegas, which is a lesser seen major city.
True.
I don't know about you guys, but I really like the part where, like, Godzilla grabs that fucking Motu, or whatever the fuck they call these things, by the head, and just, like, fucking blasts it right down the throat.
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
like I said,
scene was
visually
sweet.
cool looking stuff.
Top 10 best kaiju executions of all time.
Top 10,
3
more
for
like
sure.
number 1.
Yeah.
I like the one in 1986's Godzilla Final Wars where he picks up King Ghidorah and spins him above his head and then throws him into the sun.
Godzilla was a little silly back then, but that does sound rather enticing.
Dude, I've seen some clips of fucking Ultraman earlier today, and apparently, like, in those like, old-ass, fucking movies and shit like that, where they'd just be, like, big suits and stuff, he would just, like, grab them and tear them apart, and they'd have, like, blood and shit coming out of them, which is crazy.
Oh.
That's awesome. I love that.
Alright, well, any more thoughts in particular on this?
I like how particular is Dylan's word of the day today.
I do use it. Well, I also just use that word quite often regardless, so. Anyway.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty movie with not a lot of substance, and I rated it a C+ personally.
Holy shit.
Dylan, what are you rating it?
I gave it an S.
Wow,
Holy
major
shit.
shocker
I love
there,
this
dude.
movie. I love
Jesus.
this movie. I like I said, I have a lot of tier list reorganizing to do now.
Does that include this one?
No. Why would it include this one?
I landed at me. Hold on, let me start my sentence over. Ultimately, where I landed is that while I appreciate the higher quality of this one, it was less entertaining to me than the other ones, and so that kind of evened out. So it's just going in the exact same slot that I put both of the other Godzillas we've seen, not -1, the other two legendary Godzillas. So this one's going at a B.
I'm giving it a
Alright,
C.
Nico, what kind of D? Oh, let's go. He's giving it a C. I'm amazed and shocked. Jackson, where does it put it?
Oh, I had my mic muted, and that puts it at a B overall.
Whoa.
Not too shabby.
I think that's higher than all
Godzilla
the
being
other
a
ones.
B-tier movie sounds about right.
No, it doesn't. You guys are hack frauds.
Dylan, do you think Jackson and I would enjoy these more if we, like, actually watched all the MonsterVerse movies in order instead of, like, sporadically like we've done?
Considering the fact that I thought this movie was better than the others and I'm going to be re-ranking the other ones because of it, probably not.
Whoa.
There you go. You got the optimal experience. How does that feel?
I realized we haven't seen one and I felt bad.
If it was all left out.
All alone.